to keep yourself away. Sound and color. This life ain't like it was. Sound and...
Hey guys, and a little bit bored today, but luckily I figured, hey, you know what, let's just I'm going to come back with another video. I know it hasn't been that long since my last video, and the films I talked about in that are probably on streaming, or you can find them somewhere, but there's still some good movies, and I think there's going to be another epic movies list, because we have some really good ones to talk about, and you can go see all these right now in the theaters. I don't know about the first one. You know what, let's save that for when we talk about it. But yeah, welcome back to Intermission, and today we're going to talk about some more epic films. And today we're going to start off with the brand new Alex Garland A24 film, Men. Trailers were mildly interesting. I tried avoiding them for as long as I could because I love Annihilation. I've seen most of Ex Machina and I really like that, but Annihilation is just something really terrific, and I like the messages, visuals, and how they all combine to tell a really poignant story that I was like, hey, whatever he does next, I'm looking forward to it. So here he has this, and Jesse Buckley, who's one of the best actors working today. Hell yeah, can't wait. And I thought, I'm a little bit torn with this film. I feel like as a technical, in the technical aspect, this film is really well made. The performances from Jesse Buckley and Rory Kinnear are really terrific, and with how the latter, Rory Kinnear, has to do a lot more dual roles and portray them very differently, but still keep a center point and message of what he's trying to pursue and convey. I think he does a really good job, and regardless of what you think of the film, I feel as though those two really do keep it, at the very least, watchable and really engaging. The visuals of the film are really well nice. It has this really shallow focus around Jessie Buckley throughout a lot of her scenes in the film. And I really did help feel this sense of loneliness, but making a lot more stuff in the background pop out more, and keeping this feeling and consistent feeling of being watched and stalked. There's a lot of really good visuals with that. There's some really entertaining sequences within this film, and the last half hour of this film had me my jaw down to the ground. I did not expect any of that really to happen, to go in the places it does, and I feel that's where we're going to kind of go into issues, because that ending, as enjoyable and as jaw-dropping as it is, heavily affects a lot of the film, because the film really does go into different themes and strong messaging and very important themes, but this film isn't very terrific at conveying those ones in a way that Ex Machina or Annihilation is. It's very more weirdly in your face and very abstract in a way that's very hard to pinpoint what is the messaging of the film. What are you really trying to convey with this image, with this subject matter? And it's just some of it is comical. I really don't know if this film was supposed to be as funny, as unintentionally funny as it was. If that's intentional, cool. If not, then that just makes this a little bit bad. Not even a little bit, kind of bad. The people in my theater were just eating this up and having the time of their lives. The two elderly people behind me were just laughing hysterically, having the time of their lives. It was disruptful, but I'm okay, I can see where they're coming from. And especially seeing the reception to this film, it's not really surprising, but this film does feel a bit like a misstep. Again, I really did enjoy this film. And another thing is that it has a very good pace. It's not very boring, it's not agonizing, and it did feel very quick. It does get somewhat better as it goes on, but there's a lot more things that just come and tremble down what it's really about, and the abstract imagery, the unintentional comedy that's in the film, and just that ending of many different things. And I just gotta be honest, that last minute of the film, and with a little revelation that happens, I was just more okay, now I'm lost. What is this? But still, I really did not, I don't know, this is more of an on the fence, and that's nice. At the very least, you can make up your own opinion and form different views on this, because yeah, the reception is very, very divisive. Critics love it, and film bros, specifically film bros, love this film, but a lot more of a general audience and women do seem to just dislike this film, and there's nothing wrong with that. I can see why people hate this film. Me, I was more so in that middle area. This is okay, it's just got a lot of crap in it. But yeah, fairly fine. I'm still gonna see whatever Alex Garland does next, but I do hope that there is a level of like a step up from what happens, because this was a bit of a misstep. There's still some good things, but overall, eh. So yeah, Men by Alex Garland is gonna get a good old-fashioned 6 out of 10 or 3 out of 5. I fairly enjoyed it well enough. It was okay. I most likely will not watch this again. I say that now, but maybe in like a week or two I may want to watch it again, because it does go off the walls in a very entertaining way. But I don't know if it's really worth it to watch everything that happens before that and what it ultimately is trying to convey, which is very hard to decipher. And then up next is one of the last few like pandemic released films, because this film was advertised way back in 2019, and I was actually very intrigued, but I had to go watch the first one, and I did like a couple of days before this one, and it was okay. The first film, like, it was enjoyable, has its moments, but ultimately forgettable and very uninteresting, and which didn't leave like too much anticipation for this one. But I gotta be honest, I kind of loved Top Gun Maverick by Joseph Kosinski. This film is like just unexpectedly like terrific. I feel like in terms of storytelling, direction, effects, editing, like everything of like the technical things and what makes a film is here and really terrific and awesome. Because most people know Tom Cruise, you know, he's a weirdo in real life. He's a bit of a crazy, unlikable, you could say slight POS, but I don't have any strong feelings against the guy. But like whenever there's like these modern action films and he's in it, with the exception of The Mummy, I'll go see it, because this man cares deeply about cinema and many different things that like a lot of people just don't really care about anymore. He's striving for that like 80s set of try to do everything as real as you can so that the audience can be engaged. And just when I thought like Mission Impossible Fallout was the height of that, this film like cranks that up a lot with what they do in this film. I really enjoyed like just the overall, because we'll get to the action later, but the overall story is actually very like solid. Strangely, the 6 or 5 writers they got really did care about this like story and this character of Maverick and expanding upon what happens to him at the end of the film. That's actually really interesting. Tom Cruise especially, he gives like a legitimately like kind of great performance. Like he embodies the character very well, charming and likable, but serious when needed to be, as well as like delivering more on this like why he flies, why he refuses to be a leader of stuff and command them to do this when he himself wants to get into that jet and show them, no, this is how you do it. You guys are not doing it wrong. You guys are doing it wrong. This is how you do it. And that's awesome. It's almost self-reflective of like this film in the industry as well, where most films will rely on effects, computer artists, and lack of cooperation. This film's trying to bring it back to the A game of we have to collaborate and do this and this and this way so we can accomplish the goal so everyone is happy. And I was happy by the end of it. The flying sequences are awesome. The practical, like, and you can actually tell it's the actual people flying the cockpit, doing the thing, and it's legitimately, like, intriguing. And as the things go on with, like, them practicing to the eventual end battle was legitimately, like striking and, like, actually had me, like my heart pounding. It's been a while since, like, a big mega blockbuster of like this type has like made me care not just about the characters, but like just the overall action of like the impacts of what will happen have they not do well on this. And I thought that was just awesome. And that's another thing, everything is properly well developed, the characters are well established, everyone goes through some type of an arc there, and it's all attributed really well to its editing and sound. This is some of the best editing and sound I've heard in like a major feature in I don't even know how long. It's really establishes the action intensity really well, so it really gets you in there. It really makes you feel like you're driving a F-180 or whatever the hell those jets are called. It's just really striking, and as well as the score too, which was done by the original composer Harold Floyd Mayweather, as well, but it has new additions of Hans Zimmer and Lady Gaga. But like as shocking of a combination that is, those two did really fantastic, because this score is really, there's like little not just like the classic 80s, like, you know, the dun 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 Not just that, but like the actual score, the selective action sequences, and many little just somber little moments where it takes time to slow down and develop what's going on and the impacts of communications works out incredibly well. And it's shocking, like all these little things that are weaker in a lot more action films are like heightened and are elevated and done so well in this film that it's like, dang, they really don't make movies like this anymore. This is like a legitimately unexpectedly phenomenal film, and it has something for everybody. Fun action, a competent, really well told and emotionally engrossing story, great stakes, great score, great character bits, a great ending. Even though I didn't cry during the ending, like I definitely felt the emotions and kind of got wound up like, damn, like that really happened. That's awesome. Like, see, make them more like this. If this is the story Tom Cruise really waited 25 years to tell for this specific film, then damn, man, like this dude can't go wrong. In the film sense, that is, you know, because we all know not everything about this dude is very good. But it's still, as a film, this was awesome. I went in not necessarily caring for it, but came out really did loving it. And the more I talk about it, just kind of makes me want to see it again. I saw it with my mom on the Thursday night showing, and she's seen it like 3 times. She loves it, and I gotta be honest, I kind of love it too. So yeah, Joseph Kosinski's Top Gun Maverick is gonna get a great, amazing 4 stars or an 8 out of 10. It is a fantastic film, unexpectedly fantastic film that I legitimately can't wait to watch again. This is a theater film. Tom Cruise, Jerry Bruckheimer, and all these other Paramount execs really knew what they were doing by not letting this go to streaming, because in the theater this is like something else, and it's actually weirdly something to behold within the theater system and the scape of big mega blockbusters. That is, it sticks out, and it sticks out well, and and it's great to see it's doing well and people are liking it, because that's another thing about it. And I really liked it. I can't wait to see that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. The trailer looked awesome, and I can't wait to see what they do next. And lastly, we're going to end off the day with simultaneously my least anticipated and kind of most anticipated film of the year, and that is Lauren Bochard's and Bernard Derriman's The Bob's Burgers movie. I think I have like the same experience with Bob's Burgers, where I watched it like 10 years ago, really like enjoying and loving it, and my brother introduced it to me, and we would always just, my sister would typically watch episodes with him, just laugh, be amazed, like I feel like we're getting away with something, because they would swear and tell all these dirty jokes. But then as time went on, it just kind of went away, and I still don't watch like new episodes of that show, because there's a lack of just interest for me. But I was interested in this film primarily because of like the past history, and because like, you know, there hasn't been like a good TV show, cartoon film, and I don't even know how long. And that was another thing. This film being theatrical had me a lot more interested. And I gotta be honest, I was blown away with this film, because I was like simultaneously excited but didn't really care too much, and I just came out adoring and loving this film. Something that was really nice was that this film didn't feel like it was alienating people or like making it exclusive to people who've only watched the show. This film is something that like legitimately just anyone can watch, which is always something great about like these TV films. Even though I've never watched like the Beavis and Butthead show, I really do enjoy and like the film that they've done. So it's nice to see a film capture that like same spirit of the original and make it not just make it like worthy of like a theatrical release, but also make it accessible to people who don't even not even watched the show. And it reminds me like why I enjoy and really like the show. The humor, the heart, and like the way this family just reacts and does what they can to stay afloat when everything seems to be going against them, which is always super nice and cute. And it's nice and the cast of characters still have great chemistry with one another. The kids, that they have the chemistry with one another, Bob and Linda with each other, and them as a family. And there was something really nice about that, seeing like a family in a film that like cared about each other, not one resenting the other. And that was actually really nice and sweet. The story is legitimately engaging. There's many different twists and turns that it takes, and the fact that it's just basically a murder mystery is just awesome. I always love when they do like always loved when they did little mystery episodes of the show. So seeing that on the big screen was truly awesome. And another thing is the animation too. It seems to be like more rigged, or like slightly combination of like rigged and like hand drawn. But like however it was they did it, this is like fantastic, because this is a really good looking film. It captures that same spirit and look of the TV show, but gives it a lot more little subtle details with the coloring, shading, lines, and especially the fluid movements of the characters, because the show would, in the earlier seasons, they would have them be more fluid and rubbery, then the later seasons a little bit more stiff like that. But this film really did go all out, making it feel like a Disney film of like 20 years ago. It looks really great, and it keeps it very engaging, and it doesn't look like bad. There's really the only few complaints I have is like some lip syncing is not that great, like what the lips are saying with the mouths aren't that great. But like that's really one of the only complaints I have. I really don't have any problems with this film. It's just super enjoyable, and the songs as well are like super catchy and really good too. That like Lucky Duck song is like the most useless song in the film if you're comparing it in terms of story and like how it's utilized, but still they go all out for it and keep it very visually engaging. It's catchy, and all the songs are just stuck in my head, and they all still work to serve a point and purpose in the film. And the one that's not on the official soundtrack, reasonably so, because it reveals a lot of the details about the film, but that one's still really good too. Yeah, although one of the persons singing is very incomprehensible when they're trying to sing and reveal certain things about like a plan, it's still very good and kept really engaging, and you're like, oh okay. Especially on like the second time I was able to catch on more into what they were saying. But yeah, back to like, you know, like criticisms. Some of the jokes aren't all that funny. There's some slight conveniences, and I think that's it. Like legitimately, there's not really a whole lot. It's an engaging story with the characters we know and like, who are still likable and enjoyable, who all go through arcs of many different things, with a satisfying and really engaging story that keeps building upon itself, with engaging stakes, heart, likability, and humor, that it never becomes boring or derivative or unengaging. And it all leads to just a really sweet and fantastic like ending that just left me smiling. I guess I've embarrassingly seen this 3 times, but I don't care. It's just some sweetness, and I'm like, damn, I've missed watching the Belchers and seeing them on the big screen, and how especially the year-long delays it's been trying to come out. It's fantastic, and they really went all out for this film. They all cared about it, and that was just fantastic. They did not need to go as hard as they did for this film, but they did, and I am so happy about that. So yeah, the Bob's Burgers movie was an awesome, enjoyable film. This critic is going to give the Bob's Burgers movie a really amazing and fantastic, incredibly well-deserved 4 out of 5 or 8 out of 10 equivalent. But deep down in my heart, I do kind of want to bump it up to 9 out of 10. It was at a 9 out of 10 for like a couple of weeks for me. But I kind of changed it a little bit, but who knows? But even maybe by the end of this year, it's still going to be back at 4.5 out of 5. It's just really enjoyable, sweet, and just like the type of film that we need. Like, you know, nothing too serious, nothing too sour or dull. Just that right, enjoyable movie that like is one of the, like, it feels like rarity since we don't get a whole lot of those anymore. And some as good as this is, because this is fantastic. I really did like it. I really do hope that like this will guide like Lauren Bochard, Bernard Derryman, and all those other cast and crew of Bob's Burgers to do something else, like another 2D film of some type, because this was fantastic. And with what they've shown with a known IP, who knows what they'll do with some brand new thing. And I really do hope to see more of that, and I can't wait to keep watching this film on as the days go on, because this was unexpectedly phenomenal. Those are the really good epic movies that I've seen. I'm super excited. I can't wait for you to check them out. I have advance tickets for the new Jurassic World. I don't know what it's called because none of the trailers, posters, or anything reveal the title of the film. But that new Jurassic World film is, who knows, that'll probably be the next video, or that'll be the video that comes out before this one, depending on editing. But yeah, hope you enjoy. Expect more fresh, awesome content. Enjoy it, eat it, consume it, do what you please, and live on your life. Peace.